Hi guys, Paul here from PABrewNews. Ooh, calm down. All right, here we are. These seasons of holidays are behind us, and we have a new year. And cheers to everybody, and hope you had a great, safe, and blah 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 holiday season. Well, I don't have my normal, you know, regiment as I did basically for the last couple years with the vintage Fuller's Vintage Ale. Obviously, the vintage versions of the Fuller's Vintage Ale. Every 5 years, I did a vintage version. Well, that won't happen anymore because can't get them. And then for those 2 years, the one lady, Brunhilde, whatever, Gertrude Hawken, whatever, fucking Bakken, she was in charge of it and basically tried to make them new age hops and all this, and just they would all taste like crap when they went to cardboard, basically. So that didn't happen. So, right now, we have the Bourbon County Brown Stout, but not the regular Bourbon County Brown Stout. We have a different variant. Well, this is the Brand 14 Stout, and it's still a little bit too cool for me, for my liking. Just love on it for a little bit. Warm it up. I don't think it's going to warm up that quick just doing this. So let's get into the glass to see what it is. Let me tell you something about it real quick. The Brand 14 Stout is stout aged in rye whiskey barrels with cassia bark, cacao nibs, panelli, and coconut water. Now, and it's coming in at a very sessionable 13.2. So that's your information. And we're going to I get a chance to be by myself and just relax. And that's what I'm going to do with this beer right now. Picked it up at Maloney's today. Really just haven't had a beer worth celebrating the new year with. So I saw it. I was like, whatever. It was $25 or something like that. A little bit under that. I know it's expensive, but 'tis what it is. And 'tis the season to be jolly. And 'tis after the season to spend too much money. So there you go. We're going to crack it open. And we're going to get into it. Folks. We're going to use the On the Point Brewing glass near Mars, Pennsylvania. Evans City, Mars, Pennsylvania. Here it is. Label out, folks. Picture. There it is. Anyway. This is going to be a precarious perch. But we're just going to keep it right about there. I'm going to move it to about right there. Okay. So up to the light. Just a ruby hue, caramel ruby hue at the pinnacle of the glass. A little bit, not even a pinky ahead, but this is 13.3. Alcohol legs wafting, sticking, sheets of alcohol, bed sets of alcohol, pillows coming in the mail, alcohol legs. So that's nice. Pretty wide bubbles, not very creamy looking, but pretty wide bubbles, airy bubbles on this one. Cacao bordering to a cocoa head. And let's get some aroma on this bitch. Cheers. Man, that is peppery as hell. The pepper that is coming out of this almost reminds me. Now this is just a memory base, so it's not really saying anything's in here. Do you remember those Red Hot candies? It was like Red Hots or whatever they were called. It has like cinnamon and pepper and that kind of. Wow, Jesus. The way this thing smells, and I know it says it wasn't on there, but it almost has cinnamon in it, kind of wafting through. That's a very intense, like woof. It's just peppery as hell. Almost got almost like a cedar bark kind of vibe beneath that, like a cedar chip almost coming wafting through the palate. Little bit of roasty toasty behind that one. Very bright beer. Wow, that is very different. Very different. Very, very different. All right. Let's get into it. Cheers. Um, feel it right there too. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Low side of a full body, oiliness with the waft around the palate. Peppery rye. I swear to God, it just tastes like the cinnamon in it too, but in a great way. Like it's just, wow. It's, it's one of those things that I just cannot put my finger on. There's like a cedar bark vibe coming through this. There's earthy pepperiness. There's that kind of rye pepperiness. There's something that reminds you of like almost a sweeter like confectionery version of a cinnamon almost. That I just can't. It's on something that's a delicatessen that I just cannot put my finger on because I don't eat a lot of desserts or candies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm just pretty much a simple man. I want some. Just give me some, Hershey's chocolate. That kind of. I was kind of like that growing up. So there's something in there that it's right there. Like I picked it up and went, no, I don't want that. But like that smell is right there. Very interesting. Baker's chocolate, dark chocolate, kind of wafting in the back palate. Caramel. That oakiness is in there, along with that kind of almost cedar bark vibe that I'm getting. A lot of that. Okay, so let's see. These don't really say anything, do they? Questions and comments. I guess I just call right now, but I can't because I'm using my phone to record. And I wouldn't do that anyway because I can't talk to people because I don't like that. Born in Chicago, 2014, a fan favorite every year. Ever since, rather, I guess you'd say. In Chicago, Illinois, blah, blah, blah. And it's the 2021 version of Brand 14 Stout. Stout aged in rye whiskey barrels with cassia bark, cacao nibs, vanilla, which I don't know what the hell that is, and chocolate water. I have no idea what the hell, or cocoa water. Now that's the other thing. I was gonna mention this too because I was tasting it as I was walking. It almost like that. I don't know how to describe it. It's not. The taste that's lingering around the palate is not like drinking coconut water. It's like smelling a coconut. It's hard for me to describe. Like when I'm getting the vibe that's in my palate that's there, it's like the harder, the skin, the actual flesh of it, and like smelling the whole coconut, like from cracking it open and everything. That outside husk smell. I'm getting that. That might be wafting, and that kind of might be mixing around with a little walnut husk, a little char, a little cask character. But I'm getting that kind of coconut husk in the just that lingering essence when I was trying to read that. And then I just go, oh, well, that makes sense. Coconut water. See, I don't get the watery thing. That they kind of drinking coconut water. For some reason, I get that kind of husk background in my palate. The thing that's bothering me is that the heat that's coming out of this, that kind of spicy variant. And I've had rye whiskey, and I understand that. There's something else in it that's bringing that kind of vibe to it. And it could be the ethanol alcohols wafted through from the ABV and stuff like that. But it's a very interesting beer. And I think they were called Red Hots back in the day. It has that same kind of waft of in your nose. Because I never ate stuff like that because I wasn't into it. So I'm going by the old memory bank, which is not too good these days. Getting old. I hit 40 now, so there you go. And it's got that beautiful heat that peppery rye, and a little bit of that spice that I was talking about, even on the burp, you know. A little baker's chocolate in the burp too. This, oof, man, these are fun beers for sure. It's not blowing my doors off, not knocking my socks off, the whole deal, but they are good beers. They are good beers. I've never had a Bourbon County yet, but I said this is utter garbage. I don't think I ever will. I've had them in the 8.5s, and I've had them in the 9.5s, and that one I just loved, you know, but they're all pretty much, that's why I don't review, I try not to review all of them anymore, because especially the brand, like I always feel, why am I reviewing this? It's the same beer, even though it's slightly different. It's going to be similar, you know. Like, that's why I try not to do a lot of the same beers over and over again per year, even though they should change. Terroir, ABV, everything kind of changes. But there are a lot of beers that I find that every year they're very consistent. And it makes me wonder, why are they so consistent, you know? Because technically speaking, if you're using real products, real terroir, like the one of the things beer review that we did before, everything changes per season. Every ingredient will change the texture and variance and stuff, unless they're genetically modified or controlled in some way, or you're putting some things in that to do that, to maintain the consistency. Same batch, same this, same that, same ingredients every year. The year changes. Nothing is the same from year to year. Season, climate, water, rainfall, wind, air movement, those things change, and they soil acidity content. So it is important, I think, to review beers from one year to the other. But there are a lot of beers that are in the craft area that I've had from year to year to year to year that seem always the same, which I always get that little why, how, you know. But those are brewer secrets, and I don't think they're going to talk about that very readily. So this one is very different. This is the first time, of course, I've ever had this variant. Now it says brand 14 stout. Maybe this is the 14th time they brewed it. I don't know. Back in the day, the white label was the proprietor, which I thought was a vanilla or something like that version. I can't remember. But buy it at Benny's. Yeah, I remember the one guy over at Don't Drink Beer, he poured it into his cornflakes or something like that. But this is going to be one of those ones I'm going to plan on. Too bad I don't have a cigar or a pipe. I mean, I have a pipe, but I just don't have any pipe tobacco right now. This one, I think, would go very well with those after school specials. So, ooh, stay. So, let me give you one little huffer, and we'll just go on the ratings. I'll tell you what, though, if you like the chipotle chilies, that smokiness, if you like the not fake cinnamon that's so inundating and crap and you know, if you like real good cinnamon in stouts, if you like Chile stouts, if you like things like that, you're gonna improve. Rye beers. I mean, just in general, you're gonna enjoy this beer. This is a beer for you, because it's not uber dynamic. It's not gonna show you all the different things and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like, as some would, but like the aspect of this beer is very enjoyable. I would have to assume for people who like the red hot candies and stuff like that growing up. I think you just get a kick out of it. I'm enjoying it. It's got a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of caramel sweetness, got a little dryness, got a little bit of hot, a little bit of earthiness, it's got a little bit of everything. And then again, that coconut husk wafting on the back of the palate. Every time you take a little sip and you just let it sit and you talk, it kind of brings out the kind of coconut aspect and the earthiness and the char in the bottom of it. And it reminds me of just like picking up and smelling a coconut. I mean, just cracking it open and getting that whiff. You know what I mean? Reminds me of that. I know those things they call the heart of the coconut or something like that, where when it gets so old it coagulates in the middle and you take that out and eat it like an apple. I'm not a big coconut fan, but I would like to try that one day. But it's one of those ones that I'm sure it's a rarity to find. So, as far as where I live anyway. So, I don't know about that, but I don't know. This is an interesting beer. And that's why I like beer reviewing, because this one took me for a loop. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what to expect, and it's been puzzling me ever since the first sip. And it puzzles me now. And it will puzzle me later. It will puzzle me tomorrow. It will puzzle me. Puzzle me next year when I buy it again. That kind of thing. Yeah. It's after you did 600 hazy IPAs. I hate the shit on hazy IPAs all the time, but after you do so many of a certain style, even Imperial Stouts, just regular plain Jane Imperial Stouts, after you do so many of those, do so many of these, do so many of those, it is interesting to find a beer just like this. And I know it's not the most craziest beer in the world, probably not the hardest to get beer in the world, but it's something that's bringing something else to the table. And you go, oh, what? Huh? You know, those kind of things. So, definitely worth it. And I don't mind that review went a little long because I think it's worth it. So, and it's a holiday special, basically. Like, hey, 2022. I told my buddy Billy, said we made it to 40, might as well try to go to 80. Because we grow up going, we'll never hit 21. We'll never hit 30. And then we're here at 40. We're like, fuck. So I was like, well, might as well try to hit 80 now. See, the thing is, my luck, because we didn't expect to hit those, we hit them. Now that I want to hit 80, I'll die at like fucking 42. But I don't want to sound negative. I'm just saying, like, that's my luck. But anyway, a lot of good things happening in my life right now. 2022 seems like it's pretty damn promising. So there's gonna be trials and tribulations. There always are. But things are doing pretty good with me right now. I don't know where that went. So there you go. Anyway, this has been Paul from PABrewNews. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. I can't give it higher because it's not the best variant I've had from this, but I can't give it any lower because it is very tasty and very interesting. It might be a little polarizing, but it definitely is interesting. And, you know, $24 a bottle or whatever it was, I've seen worse prices. I've paid worse prices for less. So, there you go. I mean, that's just me being stupid, too. So, take that with how you will. Okay? But anyway. I have a half a beer here to still finish. And this is going to be something that's going to be sipped on for the course of the day. I think. I'm not going to pound this one down. And I'm just going to eat a lot of food while I do it. So, that'll be my pretty much my day spent. Anyway, this has been Paul from PABrewNews. Cheers. Pretty cool. Bye-bye. Watch that finger. Here it comes.